How are you guys? We are so happy to be here. It is Bella.
And it's Lora. Hello.
And today we're chatting all about just how important rest and recovery is.
It's not optional. And I think actually, Bella, we talked about this, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago now. And I talked about how I had that yoga teacher who said, rest is coming for you.
Yes, I remember this. Let's
repeat. If you don't take rest for yourself and you don't schedule it and you don't find that time, like it will come to you. You will get hurt. You will get sick. Something you'll just get burnt out and feel spastic, but something will happen. That's really stuck with me because then I always, if I'm doing too much, I like picture this, like, I was just talking about this the other day, like this like rest creature, like following me around being like, you need to rest, you need to drink your water, and you need to slow down.
It's so true. No, I think it's so important. And Laura and I were just chatting earlier. It's so important to incorporate rest, sure, into your daily routine, but also to recognize burnout when it's coming and be proactive in that sense. And if you're starting to feel burnt out, if you're starting to feel irritable, if you're starting to feel, exhausted, if you're starting to feel, that the day-to-day things that you're typically doing aren't as effective anymore because you're just feeling so overwhelmed, then it's time to take a real rest. And Laura can attest to this because she just took a little bit of an R&R, few days, and it's hugely rejuvenating and it can do wonders for your body and your mind.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. I just took a couple days to just literally, like, I baked, I took long walks. I slept. Like, it was really cool. I even took a nap, you guys. It sounds very gluttonous. And like, I think that's part of our culture too. Like, I felt really weird because I'm like seeing all these people who are like, I'm going to Italy and I'm doing these things. And those are all really, really wonderful. But a lot of times we also try to like schedule our vacations and then we schedule. So like you come back and I have friends who've joked about like needing a vacation from their vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
Bella's laughing at me. She's like, I don't know this experience. I don't do that. But like, sometimes it's like, we can also then like overschedule ourselves in that way too. And it can just be nice to really just relax and slow down.
Yeah,
that's where I was going with that. Not that you should go to Italy. I want to go to Italy. Please sign me up to go to Italy.
No, I think it's incredibly important. You're right. So let's, take it back and think through some things that we can do on a day-to-day basis, and then we'll go through, what you could do for maybe a longer break. So, when I think day-to-day, I think especially if you're a busy person, maybe you work, maybe you're a mother or a father or a parent, anything that you have commitment, it can be easy to prioritize others and never take time for yourself. The problem is that this can lead to stress and burnout. And we did a really great video about stress and really the impact that stress can play on the body. But you're probably aware of the stress hormone, cortisol. Cortisol inherently isn't a terrible thing, but when we become chronically stressed, and let's face it, I think most people are, even if we don't realize it, we're running around like headless chickens trying to do all the things. It can catch up with us and make us actually chronically sick. And a lot of illness and disease is actually pinpointed back to stress and trauma and burnout. So even just taking 15 minutes a day to schedule something for you makes such a huge impact. And R&R looks different for everyone. And, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do because quite honestly, what makes you feel rested. And for me, that is like putting the phone away and, reading a good book or having a nice bath. And those things go a really long way for me. And I think over time, if you incorporate that into your daily routine and make it a habit, you're setting yourself up for success. And maybe you won't have to take such a long vacation in the end.
I think that was important. You touched on like taking time during your day where you check in with you, because that helps you realize where you're at on the scale of things. So like, if you're, taking your bath and you're realizing, oh my goodness, I'm exhausted, then okay, I need to retool things just a smidgen, right?
Yeah.
So that's helpful. And also I think like, it's just important in general. It's like with our programs, for example, we do recommend these are rest-based training workouts, but they are not workouts that are like this everyday mentality. So they're structured, and what you're supposed to do is, yes, listen to your schmeck. So depending on whether you're male or female, where you are, what kind of your hormone type is, or where you are in your cycle, things like that, you might be in an eat more, exercise more phase. You might be in an eat less, exercise less. If you don't know what those are, we have videos for you. Don't worry, just look through them. But they build in this like rest and recharging periods so that you should get into that habit of taking small chunks of time to just do your slow walk as opposed to doing a workout. Am I explaining that well, Bella?
You are. You're doing a wonderful job. Thanks, Laura.
Okay. So take those and then take that same principle and we can apply it like on a week by week basis then, right?
Love it. I love it. Yeah. I think daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, it's important to take a step back and reflect, and again, incorporate these on a regular basis.
Can you talk a little bit more before we wrap out about like what is, for people who don't know, like what is like rest and digest mode? Like what is the parasympathetic nervous system? Like what does it do for you and why do we care? Because like it's easy for people to go like, whatever, like I'm still too busy for that, people. I'm going to ignore you. But like, can you, like you talked a little bit about disease and stuff, but could you say like what it is and maybe why?
You touched on a really fun point for me as a nutritionist, and that's how all of this relates to food and digestion. And as you probably know, the gut is such a crucial part of our overall functioning. And what people don't know, I kind of call it my unsexy advice because it's not necessarily what people want to hear, but taking rest prior to eating and making sure you're in an unstressed state, a restful state when you eat your food, actually kickstarts our digestion. And as people, we are again on the go. How many of us, eat our lunch in the car or take a snack bar with us when we're doing something else, or watch television and eat your food, or be feeding your child and not eating your food? And bottom line is we are what we absorb. We're not what we eat. So you can be eating all the healthful foods, but if you're not absorbing and properly digesting the foods, it's a complete waste of your money and time. And really, digestion begins in the brain. And if you are chronically stressed, your digestion is hardly even having a chance to acknowledge the fact that it's getting food and really being kickstarted. So rest, as it pertains to digestion and food, is absolutely critical. So I urge everyone to take 5 minutes or even just 2 minutes before you sit down for your meal and, take a moment, say thanks, have a little meditation, or even just acknowledge what's on your plate. Maybe look at some of the gorgeous produce and think, wow, where's this come from? Just taking a moment to get into a rest-based state versus a stressed one, which we usually are in, can actually do wonders for absorbing all those amazing nutrients and really setting yourself up for success. But in general, again, other than that, go and watch our stress video, because we also talk about the impact that stress, i.e. not resting, can play on our hormones and how that can, affect the balance in your body and thus lead to things like disease. So hopefully that was helpful and a little tidbit of information with rest as it pertains to food and digestion.
That was very, very helpful. And just in general, I don't know about you, but when I feel a little calmer, I feel great and more energized and just like more happy and bubbly and more like me. So hopefully you feel that way too. So that's another reason.
Absolutely. And your sleep will be massively improved. And again, go watch our sleep video in our Schmeck series and we talk about this. But, not taking time to rest and again, being all stressed and not resting throughout the day can again wreak havoc on your sleep at night. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if you have any more questions about this, please pop us a comment, send us a message. We're here for you, and we just make sure you take time for you, schedule those days off, schedule some quality rest time, make it a habit, and let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.